Hello my fellow weirdos, it's me, Marie. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are doing a deep dive review of The Ballad of Black Tom by LaValle. Before we leap into that book, as you can see, I'm kind of playing around with my layout. Looking in this, I'm slightly concerned I might set my hair on fire with the proximity of this candle, so I may jiggle about where everything is for a while, but I thought we could sort of have more of a relaxed, casual kind of conversation with me in my my reading chair. Let me know what you think, if you preferred it the old way or this way. Let me know. I'm just sort of playing around and experimenting and seeing what works. But anyway, let's leap into The Ballad of Black Tom. Now, this particular book was on my TBR because of me wanting to kind of diversify my bookshelves. I will link the video down below, but I did a video about black horror authors. I did a bit of research and found some horror books that sounded amazing by black authors, and LaValle came up with this one in particular. So this is about a gentleman, Tom, funny enough, Tommy, who he's kind of a hustler, he's kind of a grifter back in the day. He cons people, essentially, trying to get by any way he can. He watched his father, you know, slave away doing manual labour for his entire life and come away with nothing but a broken body, and he is kind of determined to make a name for himself and make money and his way in the world. But he still loves and respects his father and admires him. He just wants to kind of, he doesn't want to be kind of restrained by his race and poverty at that particular time. And he gets himself embroiled in a kind of world within worlds. Essentially, he is sensitive to things that other people maybe don't see, and he starts to sort of become embroiled with enchantresses and magical community. And he meets this incredibly wealthy man one day when he is playing his guitar at the side of the road, and he offers him a ridiculous amount of money to play at a party he has coming up. And Tommy / Charles, his name's Charles Thomas Tester, but everybody calls him Tommy. He knows that this guy is wealthy and that he's a mark, but at the same time there's something not quite right, because he's not a very good guitar player. He's nothing like his dad, and he knows that there's more to this request than meets the eye. And that's kind of confirmed almost immediately when this rich gentleman walks away, and a private detective and a police officer come up and immediately accost him, because they are obviously following this gentleman and keeping an eye on him. So he goes to this guy's house, and this guy wants to reshape the world in a new image. He wants to bring back the old ones, believing that they will reward him, and he's spent and dedicated his life to studying the old magic and how to conjure these beings up. And he shows Tommy this whole this world that blows his mind, essentially. You know, we're talking about this is all the Lovecraftian old ones, the gods, the ones that to look into their eyes will drive you insane kind of thing. And he sort of ends up, through a sad, tragic set of circumstances, kind of aligning himself with this guy. And it's about him deciding whether he's going to assist in letting this particular god, called the Sleeping King, wake up or not. It's a fantastic book. I read it in one sitting. As you can see, it's not a particularly big book. It's a novella, but I couldn't put it down. It's wonderful at connecting the horrors of reality with the horrors. In this case, there's a lot of kind of Lovecraftian old world magic horrors. So he is dealing with the systemic racism, police brutality, the fear of going anywhere, any white areas. There's a lot of him traveling from his particular part of where he lives in Queens to no, sorry, where does he live? Harlem. There's sort of a lot of to do with him traveling from his home in Harlem to this gentleman's home in Queens, which is like a white area. And he, on the train, it describes how he learned very early on to become invisible. You know, you wear your hat down, and how he wears these many disguises. You know, like the dumb black man, where he's like, yes sir, no sir, and is immediately compliant and does what he's told because he doesn't want to get assaulted or arrested or persecuted for no reason. So he's dealing with these kind of everyday horrors, these awful things happening to him and his family, and trying to make a better life for them. And then we've got the underlying horror, the big evil, the Cthulhu kind of old one god that wants to destroy the world and create it anew in his image. And yeah, it's just so brilliantly written. I've said time and time again, what I love most about horror is its ability to look at real world horrors and highlight them, amplify them by putting them alongside maybe something otherworldly or ghostly or paranormal. And this is a really great example of that. He's a character where he's not necessarily like acting in the best way. He's not necessarily doing the right thing every time. He is skirting that grey area of morality, and at certain points he's just diving straight into the bad. And you love him anyway, and you totally empathize with him, and you relate to him and the things that led him to become the darkness to set in. So yeah, it's one of those really kind of morally ambiguous characters that I love. I love the bad guys with hearts, or the good guys turned bad through circumstances. Those are the kind of characters that I really love to read about. The ones who very much are, for a lot of the books, are in that grey area, and then sometimes are just straying straight over into being the bad guy. I love those kind of characters. They're just always naturally inclined to being incredibly complex, and you find yourself relating to parts of them, and that's the scary part for you, because you think, well, if I was in those circumstances, if I had to live like that every day, if I'd experienced what he experienced, what would I do? Would I maybe go straight into being evil? Who knows? I love the way that it kind of forces you to look at yourself in a new light. So anyway, great read, definitely a 5 out of 5. I recommend it all day long. What about you guys? Have you read this book? Let me know in the comments down below what you thought, or if you've read any more Victor LaValle's that you want to recommend to me, let me know. And that's me for now, guys. If you could subscribe, I would love you forever. Thank you. Please subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell button. Held the bell button? Held the bell. If you could hit the bell button so you get a notification every time I post new content, that means you'll never miss out on any of my reviews. Let me know about the new kind of setup as well, what you prefer, if you like me kind of less, if you like me just sort of sitting up the way that I was before, or a bit more cash, seeing a little bit different in my office. I love your feedback, but that's me for now. Bye.